All right, guys, we are here. We're so excited. We're doing a wrestling podcast for our WWE fans, AEW fans, TNA fans, AAA fans, CMLL. It doesn't matter because we're going to be talking wrestling. We are some Marky Marks of the Marky Mark bunch. So I am so glad to be here. Your host right now is AJ. I got East Coast Pop, aka Austin, aka Roundball Renaissance. He has more names than a redone wrestler, man. How you doing?
Yeah, pretty good. I'm going through a little identity crisis right now, but other than that, we're good over here.
And then I also got our boy James. James, how you doing today?
I'm titleless, man. I feel like I just lost the title. I just got pinned, and
You got cashed in on.
I'm rudderless now. I need creative direction.
It's all right. Just watch Unreal and you should be fine. All right, guys. So we're gonna dive into SummerSlam. We're gonna give our takes and kind of let you know what we did last time. We did it for WrestleMania. Austin was here for us, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna basically average the star rating like they do. Meltzer does. So that's how Marky Mark we are. But
yeah, except
let's
better.
go ahead.
Let me
shitty. Let me get your guys' thoughts first. Like, first of all, let's talk about it. Overall, when I say SummerSlam to 2025, Austin, what do you think?
If I could do it in a word, fine. I will say that I thought night 2 was significantly better than night 1, but that was a pretty low bar to surpass.
James, what did you think?
Yeah, I think Austin got it right. I think it's just kind of, it was passable. It was good. That's about it.
I like to equate it to Happy Gilmore too. Like, was it fun? Yeah. Was it entertaining? Of course. Is it great? No. It's fine.
Are the critics gonna love it? No, but this is wrestling, so who fucking cares?
Yeah. So it is what it is. Like, we got some really cool moments, some big moments, some humongo moments, some beast moments. So, just we got a lot of
some problematic
things to talk
moments.
About. Yeah, never mind, I'm not gonna go down that route yet. I'm not drinking today, so maybe next time we'll talk about it. But all right, let's just jump into it. So guys, we had Uso versus Uso. No, I'm just kidding. But we had Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed with Paul Heyman. So guys, what'd you think of the first match, James?
Honestly, if I would have filled out predictions here, I would have gotten this one wrong. I thought this was an opportunity to kind of put over the young up and comer heel team, and maybe further a storyline with Jey and Roman. But they went kind of, I think, and this is a theme for the show, a more basic route, and they just kind of sent everyone home happy. It was fine. There's nothing memorable about it.
Yeah, I felt like the idea to put Mr. Yeet Man in the opening match for night 1 made sense for a crowd pop perspective. We did fill out predictions over at the Omega Discord channel. Shout out to you guys. We did fill out predictions, and I did get this one right, that I felt like Roman and Jey were just too big of stars to lose in the opening contest. But I would agree with you. If I were the booker, I would have given this an opportunity for Braun Breaker to really show his stuff.
It was a great opening match, like in terms of high energy, big spots, things of that nature. The only thing is I felt this was the foundation for the rest of the card, and it was suicide dive after suicide dive after suicide dive. Everyone had a suicide dive. Roman Reigns almost died, literally committed suicide on one of them. He had to roll over in order to not die because he missed everyone. Dude just must have been doing legs a couple of days before that. So, you got what you got. But my favorite part of the entire match was when Braun Breaker put back his straps and then took him back down. I thought that was awesome. And if he can do that and kind of get his dad and his uncle and those kind of antics, just like Kurt Angle did too. Like, if he can do things like that, he's gonna be a monster superstar.
Yeah, play up the Steiner kind of goofiness aspect of his personality. We all obviously can see that he has the look, but no, I just thought You know, we know what Braun Breaker is. I thought this was a good chance for maybe Bronson Reed to score a surprising pinfall, all of the G1 Classic when he pinned Okada. You know, but again,
Whew.
you know, this was a
Good
good
pull.
this was a good way to start the card. A lot of star power, a lot of energy. So I think this was just a really good way to start the show.
Another underrated moment in that match, I feel, was when Braun Breaker had Jey Uso in like a wrist lock on the mat, and he was singing to Roman Reigns. I thought that was a really nice moment.
That was, yeah, no, the heels. What I enjoy about the big four, we're talking WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Rumble, is the heels on the cards always get to like do some fun stuff like that. We'll get to it. There's a few other people who said some things too, so that was always fun to listen to. And yeah, I mean, it was great. You know, Roman Reigns stared down Paul Heyman at the end. We saw the Shula Fala again, so that was entertaining. But man, in terms of just, it also kind of set the mood, the whole night too, because I felt this was a lot of high energy with some like really weird low spots that really didn't belong and I didn't fully understand. So that was only my other critique too. But other than that, you know, it's fine.
Yeah.
Good opening match. That's what you want.
Yeah. I think it was
My only
solid.
issue with it, really, because I don't have the times in front of me, but while I was watching it, it felt like it took 45 minutes.
It was a long match. It was 21 minutes.
Not the only match this weekend that felt like that.
Yeah, definitely not the only match that felt this way. So I feel like just because of how long it felt, because I mean, there was a ton of rest holds and there was a ton of loafing around after a big spot like the suicide or over the top rope dive.
Yeah.
There was a lot of like loafing around. So for that, the score dropped for me a little bit. So I personally have it as a 2.5 star match. I feel like that is as mid as you could possibly get. Great for the crowd, for Mr. Yeet Man. Shout out to Jey Uso. But as far as in-ring work, it was fine.
Yeah, I mean, the only time that I can see, you know, Roman and Jay like really having a crazy match would be like a no DQ match, which we'll get to because we had plenty of those this SummerSlam.
Yeah.
And so that, you know, but it wasn't. It was just a great match. And, you know, I think, Austin, that's a good star. 2.5. James, what do you think?
I went 3 just for the fact that it set a good tempo for the night. But yeah, it was just nothing special.
Yeah.
What a nice guy. Giving him an extra half star.
Eat, so he was like 3 stars minimum.
I got to eat for 10 minutes before the match.
They just
Dude,
ran it
sometimes
back mid-match.
Whenever I eat, I have to wait at least 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's just what?
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
All right, I'm just gonna say 2.5. You know, it was a good match. It is what it is. So let's move on to, we got women's tag team championship. We got Charlotte and Alexa Bliss tagging together versus the Judgment Day and Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. Shout out to both of them. Valley girls, San Antonio girl. We love it. Roxanne Perez wrestled at RCW, which is a local promotion in San Antonio.
RCW, I think.
Oh, they both did. Yeah, you're right. So shout out to them. Whenever I see them together, it just makes me really happy. Just being a Homer fan, and you know, I know they're working heel, but they're faces in my book.
We saw you, AJ, you, I, and Cameron. We saw Raquel as Reina Garcia, I think, at that NXT live event in 2018.
There it is.
Yeah, she was a heel.
The one before the Rumble.
No. This was like right after Cam got back from
Oh,
his
no,
honeymoon.
Was this at Aztec?
Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
it was a good one.
That was
a good one.
That was so Austin they had an NXT event at a theater, and so they like the ring was like just on the stage, and everyone was just piled in, and we saw what was Adam Cole's
the tag match was Undisputed Era against
That's what it was.
the Revival. And
What a show.
and then Dream was on there too.
The main event was a fatal 4-way. It was Dream, Ricochet, Killian Dane, and the fourth one. Maybe it was Lars Sullivan. I don't remember.
It was just one of those like we didn't know what we were watching until like later on. You're like, dude, that was
a cool show.
Card. It was a great show. We even paid extras just so we could get a little bit higher. It was great. Anyway, let's get back to this match.
Fun
This
detour.
match was fine. This match was fine. I mean, I wasn't really impressed. Really, I thought Roxanne and Raquel did fine. I think Alexa and Charlotte, I think they have potential to be a monster tag team if they book it correctly. I think they look great together. Like they look great. Just a tall girl, short girl, both blonde. That helps. They seem to be having fun with it, kind of pushing each other, like haha, hee hee. So that's the part I enjoyed. James, what did you think about it?
I think the match was fine as it was. The storyline is kind of incomplete at this moment, so I
Yeah.
don't quite know what to make of the result as a function of that. So the in-ring work was fine. There's all workers are talented there, so just about middle of the road.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I actually have this as a 2.5 star match as well. It is so hard for me, especially when shameless plug here. Sorry about it. There's this there's this app, there's this website called Dropkicked. It's like Letterboxd, but for wrestling matches. And I have been reviewing the shit out of matches. I'm over 200 matches in like a month and a half. I've been killing
Holy
it.
hell.
So I was like reviewing this live, and because I was familiar with the story coming into the match, it was hard for me to not put my Booker hat on. The more interesting story to me is having the Judgment Day hold those titles until Liv Morgan comes back, and then it's what are you doing, my best friend? Those are my tag team titles. That's my Dominic Mysterio. If you don't have the tag team titles, you have one less thing to fight over. So it was really hard for me to like not be angry that that was the result. But if we're boiling it down straight to in-ring work, again, I feel like it was fine. I feel like there was a lot of nervous energy toward the beginning of the match that caused a few hiccups, but they pulled it together toward the end. But overall, pretty fine match.
Going second is always a tough spot. So they're lucky that all four participants were veteran enough to kind of pull through and I think not let the crowd kind of die down.
It helped. It helps whenever you have someone that you can just woo at, and when in doubt, just woo, and everyone's like woo. Like we've all been to those live shows, and all of a sudden it's like fucking owls out there. You woo 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 woo, and it's like good God, all right, we're doing it again. So like that's literally how the entire thing is. So it was fine. Charlotte and Lexa are new tag team champions, guys. What do you think about that? Just we're like I know Austin kind of mentioned it. Yeah, where does it go?
I wouldn't be surprised if it's a short reign, but like Austin said, the storyline on the Judgment Day side could go so many other ways. I almost feel like Roxanne needs to prove herself, and that would be almost grounds to winning the titles back and kind of advance the storyline that way. So this is kind of an incomplete for me, but the match itself, as far as ring work goes, I would agree with the 2.5 star rating.
Cool. Me too.
I think a lot of times too, the championship win is almost less important than what you do after it. Mm-hmm. Because think of how many times some of our favorite wrestlers win a title, but their reign is garbage. Mm-hmm. The moment is really cool in and of itself. But if you don't follow up on that, it's really hard to view the reign as something good. So I think Hunter has a lot to deal with right now, real world stuff and being the booker. So he's going to have to really do something special to make me believe in this tag team.
That's kind of what the big four pay-per-view events are for. They're for the more casual fan, as opposed to the marks like us who like to get into the weeds on a week-to-week basis and, can be a little bit more critical of that kind of thing. So, they just kind of, I feel like sometimes get out over their skis, just trying to give the crowd what they want.
Yep. So there it is. That match was 13 minutes and 30 seconds. So I think that was a good second match. This third match, ooh, man. This is when bathroom breaks happen. This is when you walk away for a minute. Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. Austin, what'd you think?
My rating was not indicative of how I feel about either performer. I love Sami Zayn. I was a big El Generico fan. I love that PWG style of wrestling. And I think that you can get the best out of anyone, including someone who, while I do like him, is limited in the ring as Karrion Kross. But it's hard for me to care when I know that this match will not help either person, regardless of who wins. If Sammy wins, he's not going to be the world champ in 6 months. If Cross wins, he's not going to be the United States champ in 6 months. So it was really hard for me to even care about this match at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't even know
Yeah.
if Cross is going to be on the roster in 6 days.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, like, in that
He was not
perspective-
Raw.
In that perspective, especially if he loses, it's almost like, well, is this goodbye? And it's like, to your point, Austin, it almost feels like a here, damn, have it. You know, you chant, we want Cross, and everybody, of course, loves Sami Zayn. He's one of the most over guys in the company. So it's just like, here, damn, you know, have this match. You know, this could have just as easily been put on SmackDown.
Yeah. Did you guys see like Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross? They talked to each other after the 1, 2, 3. Curious to know what that conversation was all about, because it looks like it was more maybe Sami Zayn going, "Hey man, you deserve better. Hope this works out for you. Try to get another $50,000 out of Tony Khan." You know, I don't know, maybe he said that, but I feel like this might be the end for Karrion Kross, which sucks because, I mean, when booked properly, he's fantastic.
He is limited in the ring, but it's not entirely dissimilar to a guy like Bray Wyatt, you know? Bray Wyatt was a better in-ring performer than Karrion Kross is, but it's the story that's being told. And with Karrion Kross, there was meat on that bone, and there's a reason that fans, you know, kind of want to see that. So it just all around kind of feels unfortunate more than anything else.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be different too if we hadn't seen it like work before. He's a NXT champ. He's a 2-time NXT champ. We know that could work. And the fact that we're not able to translate that from admittedly a more rabid fan base at Full Sail in Orlando to a mainstream audience is either telling of the performer, which I don't think it is, or it's more telling of the booker, which I think it may be.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and you know, Karrion Kross is a lot of bells and whistles, and that's what draws casual fans in. You know, it's the bells and whistles.
Are you talking about Scarlett's bells and whistle?
It doesn't hurt.
Yeah. Scarlett's not bad. I'm always excited when she comes out. So
And they never let her wrestle.
or they never let her do anything.
Yeah.
She's like, here, take the pipe. And you're like, whoa, girl, calm down. I got a wife. So, you know, that's, you know, I think it could have been better. I think, you know, I think the story just sucked. This is the match that shouldn't have been on the card. And like you said, James, it should have been on SmackDown. This is why you don't need 2 days of SummerSlam, like for matches like this and one we're about to get to too. Like you can just knock those out or just not have them on. I mean, the United States Championship was on night 2, but the Raw Tag Team Championships weren't even on the card. So what are we doing? But
I do
overall,
have one more nitpicky thing. So this is more of a storytelling issue that I have, and again, not for the wrestlers. It's the Chekhov's gun of it all. For those unfamiliar, if you bring something onto a screen or a set or whatever, it has to be used by the third act. That's the same reason why you see in wrestling, when someone brings out the tables, they use it. So there's this weird Chekhov's gun effect for this. Why have a stipulation of if Sammy loses, he has to say that Karrion Kross was right all the time, if that's not what the finish is going to be? This could have just been a normal match, a normal blow-off match at SummerSlam, but you put that stipulation on it and then you didn't use it.
Because it's a dumb stipulation too. It's like you were right. Like,
cool.
okay.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I think the stipulation is dumb. However, if you're going to go through all the work of making it this big of a deal,
But like, you're not a good person. Like, okay, your opinion, bro. Like, like I'm just saying, like, it's so silly. Like, I don't know. I'd rather have Dominic on a pole match, but that's just me. So I give this a 1 star, to be honest with you guys.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Honestly, I agree. If we have to give it a star, I'll give it 1.
I was a little more fair. I think it may just be my bias of Sammy and that PWG style of wrestling that I like. I gave it a 2.
Fair.
I'll give it a 1.5. Or should I give it a 1?
Split the baby, give it a 1.5. That's a nice,
All right.
easy
Works for me.
average.
Yeah, it gets that 0.5 because of Scarlett, for sure. I'll say it like that.
Whatever gets you over that hill, right?
She's got me over the hill a couple of
At your
times.
advancing age, right, AJ?
All right, so this next match is another one of those matches that just I don't think should have been on the card. We got Tiffany Stratton, who's the women's champion, going up against Jade Cargill, who is the queen of the ring. This was a very, very short-lived match, 7 minutes and 5 seconds to be exact. James, what did you think about this one?
This, to me, if I can compare it to anything just in my personal books, this felt like the Uso versus Uso match at WrestleMania last year, where it just really never got off the ground. Like I was just kind of waiting for it to feel like an important match, and it never did.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like there was no chemistry, and they kind of, again, booked themselves into a corner where they had, Jade Cargill won Queen of the Ring. Tiffany Stratton's the champion on the same show. So they fuck it. They had to do it. So, I wasn't super high on it. I agree with you, AJ.
Yeah.
I wanted this to be better. And I think a lot of times, especially with the greenness, like we were talking about pre-show of the both of them, that less is more often than not. So the time frame, the sub 8 minutes really didn't bother me, but I was kind of expecting more. If you both know that you're relatively limited in the ring, you have to show out in those 8 minutes.
Right.
Give me a big spot, something that I can remember. Right.
This would have been a really good no DQ match. Like if they put this one in a street fight or whatever, just so they can walk around. Like for anything more, they can even keep it 7 minutes if they wanted to, but for them to just go out there and have that big spot you're talking about, go through a Slim Jim's table, which is so dumb. Well, but that's a different story. Wait for the kendo stick's going to be fucking dots or something.
And again,
what are you going to say, James?
And in another comparison, I guess, I don't know why that's a theme for this match, but Brock Lesnar, Finn Balor from the Royal Rumble 6-7 years ago.
When he lost the title? Oh, wait.
No, Brock versus Finn Balor. So Brock won, but it was a really competitive, 8 to 10 minute match, that showcased a lot of Finn's offense. And I feel like if you're going to ultimately have a retention here with someone that you don't want to get buried, that's kind of how you do it. You got to have them get in most of the offense or something like that, big flurries, but we don't need that much. The timing was fine. Just the chemistry felt off.
Yeah, Jade Cargill is going to give me Hogan vibes until she can actually do stuff. Because I think it's going to be just, 5 moves of doom and we're going to call it a day. But she's going to get pushed. She looks great. She looks like a freaking superstar, 100%. But it's just, she's not there. She has everything, but she just needs time.
Yeah.
Just needs time.
Yeah, and yeah. You're right.
He who shall not be named used to call it the airport test. If you pass him in an airport, you have to go, hey, what does that person do for a living? You'll see Braun Strowman, you'll see a Roman Reigns. Those guys are not accountants. And Jade Cargill definitely has that. And because of how they have been booking her since she came into the company, the fact that she has been on a run and won the tag team titles and won Queen of the Ring, I figured that this was the time. I figured that they were going to pull the trigger now. So I was a little, I don't want to say disappointed because I'm not super invested in that, but I was a little crestfallen maybe that my prediction was wrong about the whole thing.
Yeah, I would. You could throw a strap on her, have her go after, the IC title. Thanks. have her go after the IC title or something like that, or you can make it happen for Jade, but at the end of the day, just it shouldn't have been on the card. I didn't like it. I'm going to give it a 1 star.
Yeah, I'll give it 1.5 just because I feel nice. Generous. Yeah, I'll give it 1.5.
I'll make the math real easy then. I gave it a 2 because I'm generous. I was feeling pretty good. I thought, hey, Jelly Roll's coming up next. He will be the savior of this show.
So since you mentioned it, Austin, let's talk about Jelly Roll and this whole funness of a match. This was fun. This was a fun match. You got a classic wrestler and celebrity. We got Drew McIntyre versus Logan Paul and Randy Orton with Jelly Roll. Yes, the Jelly Roll, about what, 160 pounds lighter too, or whatever that
They
number
said
is.
like 220 or like 230.
They also said there was like 100,000 people there, but we're just gonna like. talk
And there
numbers.
was. No one can tell you any different.
Did you count?
So this was fun. This was a fun match. Like it was silly. Don't get me wrong. It was super silly. Jelly Roll, like, I'm not buying that he could take on Drew McIntyre in a like just punches match or whatever you want to call it, whatever that intro was. Like, he's Drew freaking McIntyre. Like, dude was in main event, and yeah, he basically carried the company during the pandemic. So, and he's a big dude, like enormous. And you got Jelly Roll, who's like just super green. So I thought it was interesting way to book the match, to say the least. I think it was interesting that Jelly Roll got that first part, and then he was like, "No, Randy, let me show you. I've been working hard, man. Let me show you. I can take a bump." And to Jelly Roll's credit, he didn't do bad. Did fine.
He was fine,
James.
Yeah. He was fine, and you know, honestly, credit to him for taking that table spot, because that is something that is memorable. That is something that gets attention. You know, Logan Paul put the Jelly Roll through a table, like that,
and then you see it from his perspective.
Yeah, like, and that's social media galore right there. And so from that perspective, you know, I think credit to him for being willing to do it. And you know, the match was fine. I think the match would have been a lot better had the previous two matches before it been better. But yeah, no, I think it was just a fine celebrity match. You know, it was fun for what it was.
I think it's really easy to give the celebrities, whoever they may be, Bad Bunny, Ronda Rousey, before she made the switch over, give them a little more credit than what they might deserve of how good they actually did. Because I can remember thinking at the time that Bad Bunny match in Puerto Rico, going, "Wow, dude, this might be the best match on the card." And then I watch it now and I go, "Oh, I was just hyped up."
Yeah,
that was a really cool entrance.
I thought that was like match of the year for like 2 months, honestly.
that entrance was insane. I still get goosebumps, man. Like,
Yeah.
that thing was insane. Like, come out to your song in your country, and like just everyone just going fucking bananas.
The entire crowd knows your song.
That
beat
too,
for
like,
beat. Like,
I mean, Chris Jericho could dream.
But,
so, but this was fun. Like you said, the table spot was fun. You know, we got Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul ended up beating Randy Orton, Jelly Roll, which is interesting. Austin, how do you feel about that? Jelly Roll taking the pin.
So I don't think I understand the point of celebrity matches in the year of our Lord 2025 anymore. That's kind of like the bit. If Drew Carey was in a singles match in the 2000s instead of the Royal Rumble, he would have won the match. Like, that's what celebrity matches are supposed to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the fact that Jelly Roll, first of all, took that huge spot. I thought he died. I got worked. I thought he was legitimately hurt. I thought everyone had to pivot. Now we have to rush to the finish. And then I got worked. So be it. But for me to get worked and then get the rug pulled out from under me and him still not win after triumphantly coming back from that huge spot, I feel a little hurt, Paul.
Yeah. I honestly, this is like the third match I probably would have gotten wrong if I was predicting these, just because, like,
this is the third match I did get wrong on predicting this.
How often does the celebrity come in and lose, especially, you know, paired with a guy like Randy Orton? I just feel like this was like the guy losing in their hometown.
Yeah, well, what they should have done is have, if you wanted to get Jelly Roll the W, you should have had someone who hates Drew McIntyre or Logan Paul run out. Like, you could have done a throwaway segment on like SmackDown or whatever. They come out, beat the shit out of them. Jelly Roll is knocked out. You just limp him over, 1, 2, 3, call it a day. Like, that would have been fun, in my opinion. But also that's a cheap way to get out of things. So, you know, everyone worked great. It was just weird to just see Jelly Roll and Drew McIntyre go toe to toe. Like, what are we doing?
I think my biggest problem with the whole match was Jelly Roll using Toby fucking Keith as his entrance music.
R.I.P. Toby Keith.
I mean, I suppose, yeah, but like,
How do you feel about Jelly Roll offering to cover Randy Orton's entrance song?
I'd listen to it.
Voices in their head, they hurt me. Is that how it sounds?
I'd listen to it with studio production. See, give it a shot.
I'll try anything once.
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
Yeah. Be funny if we'll see. I don't know if Jelly Roll ever comes back. I think this might be a one and done thing. It's like, oh, thank you. Watch my Netflix special whenever it comes out. I'm sure that's why he's on it. So it was fine. I mean, I'll give it a 2-star.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat right there as a 2.
I'll give it 2s across the board then, because that's pretty reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, but also like had some good spots. Like that Jelly Roll spot went viral, and shout out to Jelly Roll for taking a pin, and also he wasn't bad at selling. He knew where the camera was, so I appreciate that.
It's more
the
than
work
like
on
a
that.
quarter of the AEW roster.
Quarter, huh? You are very generous today. I would have said 50%. But anyway, all right. Next one, we got the World Heavyweight Championship, your main event, what everyone came here to see. Gunther versus CM Punk.
God, this has nothing to do with the match itself, but as a geezer at heart, looking at the clock and seeing like 7:40 as the main event was about to start made me so happy.
Oh, I was stoked as well. I did the same shit. Austin, did you do that too?
Yeah. I love if you're gonna have a 2-night, SummerSlam,
Get out
WrestleMania,
early.
whatever. It's got to end before 10 o'clock for sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
Well,
East time.
you're an hour ahead of us, so yeah.
Dude, James, I did the same thing. I was like, what am I going to do after this?
Yeah, and that's a rare feeling for a WWE fan, because I know, like, sitting through a Royal Rumble, for instance, in person, I was like,
It's a lot.
okay.
And then you're like, all right, hold on, let me do the timer thing. And you're like,
I gotta get
that was 45 seconds.
home, and it takes 45 minutes to get out of the Alamo Dome parking lot.
But this match, I like the match just from like a storyline perspective. Like they finally got to like have this match, and it was a kind of a welcome home moment for CM Punk. Like, let's go, you're here. And then they rang the bell, and you realize CM Punk is a lot older than you want him to be, unfortunately. And it was slow, a lot of holds. It felt like CM Punk was running in mud, and Gunther was just trying to like just hold him up. So, and also it went 30 minutes too. So it was a long match, but at the end of the day, we got a new champion, and that was fun.
Yeah.
But other than that, Austin, what'd you think about it?
Not good things, I'll tell you that. Much like you said, it's not CM Punk's fault. Father Time is undefeated.
Yep.
But I think the idea of having this version of CM Punk be the guy that you hitch a wagon to and go, here you go. Here's big gold. Run with it at whatever age he is now is a bad idea, because he is a step slower. Again, not his fault. But think about the guys on the roster. There aren't enough great individual wrestlers to pull great matches out of CM Punk at that point. And I felt the same way when he was the AEW World Champion. I thought that's a really bad idea. Tony, I know that he's your guy, and you wanted to when AEW started, you wanted CM Punk to be the guy. You wanted him to be the Chris Jericho of it all. But that's a bad idea, and it was a bad idea now.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree. James.
Sometimes from a fan perspective, just knowing his career and knowing as a wrestler and as a booker, it's really easy to know when a match or an event as a whole is a Triple H production, because it's long, it's plotting, it's moments, it's highly psychological, and this felt like an unnecessarily Triple H production. This could have been half the time that it actually was.
Yeah.
In terms of just bell to bell on the match, none of the post match shenanigans that we'll get into, I'm sure. But
no, we will.
This could have been half the time.
I feel bad because I don't know what to do with Gunther after this now. I feel like you kind of put him in this weird box, and because of everything that happened and what's going to happen moving forward with probably Seth and CM Punk and now LA Knight, as we saw on Raw last night. So, I just, for me, I feel
Roman.
bad for him. I feel bad for him because it's like, where does he go from here now? Like, does he just kind of float around and maybe he feuds with McIntyre? I don't know what you really do from here with him.
This whole show kind of felt like, and I know there's no brand split really, there hasn't been for a while, but it felt like it was a show that they would have put on before a draft. Where like there are certain guys, there's certain people on the roster that just kind of need a reset button. And Gunther is the top of the list because it's like he's been pinned by Jey Uso and 47-year-old CM Punk this year.
Yeah.
Like what? It's not that because Gunther is like Randy Orton. He's always going to have that credibility, but how do we heat that back up?
Yeah, exactly. 100%. So after the match, CM Punk's in the ring, just super excited, just won the championship. He's about to cry. And then all of a sudden you hear, burn it down. And then Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman walk out. Seth Rollins is in crutches. He looks down at CM Punk and goes, I'm going to get that championship. Well, I don't know what he said, really.
Relax, yeah.
He's like, from Iowa. Anyway, he turns around, walks towards Gorilla, stops at the LED screen, and throws his crutches to the side. When this happened, Austin, how'd you feel?
Jumped out of my seat. I did. I got work twice in the same night, and I couldn't have been happier about it. Not only for having a good moment, not only for Seth Rollins being a top 5, top 7 wrestler for me personally, but the idea of, again, like I said, CM Punk at this stage in his career being the world heavyweight champion, bad idea. And if Seth Rollins can fix that, the savior of pro wrestling, in my opinion.
Yeah. I got to be 100% honest with y'all. I don't know why I just like super Southern that when I said 100. I had to go back and watch this one after the fact because me and the wife were watching the 1999 Will Ferrell, Molly Shannon vehicle Superstar.
Oh, great movie.
So I was a little distracted by that, but it was well worth it. It was probably better than this match. But no, it just... If the match had gone 15, 20 minutes, I think it would have been so much better.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, but also CM Punk was gassed. Maybe that's why he didn't run away, because he's run away before when someone's trying to cash in, and he had plenty of time to get out of there, to be honest with you. But so Seth Rollins turns around, drops his crutches, turns around, unclips his knee brace, and cashes in Money in the Bank. It was a quick match, 10 seconds long. Curb stomp, 1, 2, 3, new champion, Seth Rollins, and all the fun pictures of him spinning the title around his head and stuff like that. Like, that's really cool. Man, is Seth Rollins just Mr. Money in the Bank and just knows when to cash in? Or we got to have some kind of cool nickname for him, because this guy has cashed in some badass ways. And I've popped every single time for them.
One of the GOATs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has kind of happened quietly almost. Like, I feel like people went through a phase where they didn't really like Seth Rollins. He wasn't the IWC's hot it boy because, some of the things he said maybe back in like 2018. But yeah, that resume is impeccable.
So I think it's great. I'm excited. I love this version of Seth Rollins. I love this new faction, the Vision. I hope they add one more person or somebody, because I also love stables, and the more people, the better, in my opinion. Well, there's a happy medium. Like 5 is a good one. Unless you add a tag team, then 6 is fine. So I would love for them to get someone. Preferably, I would love LA Knight to turn heel and join this faction. I think that would be awesome. And then have them basically be Undisputed Era circa 2017.
Just a bigger version.
the bigger version. Yeah, just a with Paul Heyman. Like, dude, Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins, LA Knight, and you don't need the other two dickweeds to say anything.
I honestly
Like,
thought
it's fine.
more tag team, because I was thinking like I would love the Street Profits to actually turn and join those guys. That'd be
not
a
a bad idea either. Oh, just
we'll get to them in a little bit.
Yep. All right. So I guess how do you guys want to rate this? Do you want to rate the CM Punk Gunther match and the cash-in, or are we doing them together?
I feel like it has to be together.
So together, then I'm going to give it a 4. Because that cash-in just man.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 3.5 just solely because of the cash-in and because I'm kind of a Punk mark. So I'm just gonna go 3.5 and call it a day.
I can't be a Punk mark because he confused the state of Virginia with the state of West Virginia, and I will never forgive somebody for that. Been on my shit list since then, buddy. So the way that they have it on
Silverdome, dude.
The way that they have it on Dropkicked is that it's 2 separate matches, so I have ratings for both of them. It pissed me off because I was like live tweeting throughout the whole pay-per-view as well, and people were on my timeline telling me that Gunther and Punk was a 5-star classic. I'm like, have you guys fucking seen a wrestling match ever? You're like, there's no way you think that.
I want those edibles for sure.
That the match itself, I thought it was fine. It got a 3 from me. The cash in, because it was someone who I wanted, taking the title off of someone who I didn't think deserved it. 10 billion stars, broke the Meltzer rating. So for an average, I guess a 3.5 is fair.
If it was in the Tokyo Dome, we wouldn't even do the stars.
20 billion stars.
So I guess let's go 3.5.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Or 3.75. Let's be frisky on this main event.
Judicious.
Nice. So that was night 1, and here we are 42 minutes in, because this is how long it was too. So all right, let's get this thing going. So night 2, I thought night 2 was insane. Like, night 2 was fun, but I do have an issue with night 2. Every match was no DQ. Every single match was no DQ. And you're like, dude, like, you should have put one of these on like night 1 and flip something, because every match just had just chaos, and it was just uncontrolled chaos too. So like with the first match, we have a triple threat match for the women's world championship. We have Naomi versus Rhea Ripley and versus Io Sky. I had thoroughly enjoyed this match, and I thought it was a great way to kick off night 2. Austin, what'd you think about it?
Yeah, the history books say that putting Rhea Ripley and Io Sky in a triple threat match to open up whatever night of a pay-per-view, pretty good business idea, and they came to bring it here today. I love Naomi too. I don't want to discredit her in any way. She's on the run of a lifetime. But I think Io Sky is a top 5 wrestler. I think Io Sky is a top 5 wrestler on the planet, regardless of gender. I think that she's fucking incredible.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. James.
This match had it all, and it just delivered on all fronts. It has the star power of Rhea Ripley, the in-ring ability of Io Sky, and just the kind of everything of Naomi, because, you know, she's, like you said, she's on the run of her life, and she's got quite the internet fan base, believe it or not. But
she really does.
This match just it didn't disappoint. Like there's high spots, high energy, and it felt like those old kind of NXT TakeOver tag matches that always used to open. It's just like, okay, I know this is open, and I know it's going to be good.
Yeah, it was fun. I really enjoyed this match. I think 16 minutes is also a perfect time for an opening match, where you can get in there, do some cool stuff, but you can get out before people get bored.
Yeah.
And it's also like, it's really hard to get bored with Rhea Ripley. Good Lord. That whatever outfit, she's awesome. She looks like $1 million. She's one of those wrestlers that can lose or win. It doesn't matter. Cause she's still going to be on the top of the card regardless. So that's what I really enjoy about it. But, Naomi retaining, what do you guys think about that?
A little surprising, but I guess probably shouldn't be if you think more longer term.
Yeah, I think it was the right call. She just won it. it would make the Money in the Bank contract meaningless if you took it off her this quick after she cashed in.
Yeah.
This year kind of flies in the face of that report from a few months back at Triple H not liking the Money in the Bank concept, because it was pretty awesome this year.
Yeah,
Getting worked again. 2025. What a year.
Yep.
No, that's true. So I give this one a 3.
I gave it a 4.
Did you
I
give it a
also
4?
gave it a 4.
Then let's give it.
I gave Rhea, Io, and Bianca Belair at WrestleMania 5, and this was, I don't want to say worse because it was still pretty good. It was not as good as that one, so I gave it a 4.
Fair. I think that's fair. But
That's a good
it
point.
was, Naomi had the cool entrance with her dad playing her to the ring like that.
What a moment for the both of them.
Yeah.
Shout out to those guys.
It delivered on all fronts, so I think it was a solid 4 to get the night going.
That's a good point. Maybe I should change it, or maybe not.
Maybe not. Who knows?
I don't know. I'll surprise you at the end. How's that?
He's going to cash in.
I'm gonna cash in at the end. I'm gonna cash in my half point. This man, I don't even want to talk about this one. This next match pissed me off to no end. And here's why.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear why.
No, we have a 6-pack tables, ladders, and chairs match. Okay, 6 tag teams. We have 12 people total, plus another 3 or 4 that came out too. So almost 20 people in this entire match. I thought they could have done a lot with less. I don't think Motor City Machine Gun should have been in this, and I don't think Fraxton should have been in this. I think if you have the Street Profits, the YS6, and Andrade, and I love DIY, so I'll keep DIY in there. I think you're fine. 6 tag teams is just a lot of people, and then with all the run-ins, it was a lot. But the spots were awesome. I'm not going to deny that. The spots were amazing. James, what'd you think?
Yeah, I think the spot that I'll always remember from this match is Ciampa pulling himself up from the buckle like that. Like, it's just like I love innovative stuff. I've never seen anyone do that before. We've seen the hanging off and get speared off the top, whatever that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there was a lot to keep up with. But again, this felt a little like the first match, where it's just like, just throw the ball out, man. These teams are going to go and they're going to produce a bit of a banger every time.
Yeah. James? I'm sorry, Austin?
I thought that this was a very good match. We'll get to my rating in a second. But it was very good in the way that a chaotic, a car crash of a match could be good.
Yeah.
There's a couple spots, obviously, that you can go back and watch. My favorite spot was the Spanish Fly from the top of the turnbuckle down to the floor. Jeez, I thought they both died. I thought it was the end of them.
And then Candice LeRae's spot was fantastic too.
Yeah.
I was concerned for her safety, but then when I saw Johnny just give her the thumbs up and go for the title, I was like, okay, she's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
So
it was just a fun match.
Dude, the spots were amazing. Like, don't get me wrong, the spots were fantastic. I just felt there was a lot of bodies.
Yeah.
For that space. That's all. Like that. There's a lot of bodies, a lot of things you have to keep up with. At times, like some of the camera stuff, like was a little rocky, but that's okay. So that's just me. At the end of the day, the Y6 win, Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy. That's fine. You got to build them up, but whenever Bo Dallas came out or Uncle Howdy came out, that didn't look great. I was not excited about that.
No.
And maybe it's because it was still like light outside, and for them, I think you definitely it needs to be at nighttime or in the dark for it to be effective. I when he came in, he just didn't. I don't know if it's me or whatever, but it looked slow. It wasn't great, for my opinion. So that part really bummed me out, because now it's like, where do they go? Because they're supposed to be eerie and mysterious, but they seem to like get their ass kicked a lot.
It's hard to do eerie and mysterious champions. Like, it's hard to have, like, Bray Wyatt, even like his championship reigns were kind of up and down, just because that's a hard thing to book. but
Yeah.
in the sense that just the match itself, I liked the spot with Andrade and Uncle Howdy, but I don't think that we needed to get all of the Wyatt Six involved in the match physically.
That's what I mean.
It was
'Cause
very
then you-
overbooked for sure. But the problem that I had with it wasn't anything in ring necessarily. The story leading into it was that the entire SmackDown tag team division could just not keep their hands off of each other. They needed to go at it. They said, okay, I need
yo.
to fight some. All right, everybody say pause, and then we'll continue like adults. Everyone wanted to get their hands on the championship. So it didn't make sense for me to have this big dust up like two SmackDowns prior to SummerSlam and GM come out and go, all right, you wanted this, you got it, TLC, and make this big like, gravitas of it just for there to be status quo and just have the Wyatt Six win the championships again. I felt like that was a prime candidate for someone else to get their shine.
Yeah.
Not that I think the Wyatt Six are bad, because I don't, but if you're gonna just have them in a standard tag team match, if you're gonna have them retain.
Yeah. And also just, I think it was cool that, Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy were ringside, and so was the Dudley Boys. It'd been cool if they got involved in a little more capacity, just instead of just,
They got to save
Hey.
themselves for TNA in October.
that's a good
Only
point.
so many
Isn't-
bumps.
That's where the money happens.
Only so
And
many
Bubba-
bumps
Bubba's-
left in those bodies.
But Bubba's a champion now too, isn't he? He just won a title in some
House
random
of
promotion.
Glory.
House
I
of
think.
Glory, yeah.
That's what it was, yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, dude. Don't get me wrong, the spots were fantastic. I just think there's a lot of bodies, and we'll kind of chalk it up and see where they go from here. But Wyatt Six with the W. Where did the Street Profits go from here? That's what I want to know too, because I feel like they're such a good tag team, but Montez needs to have a single run, man.
He does. But at the same time, I'm not as worried about Dawkins if they break up as I was 18 months ago. I actually
Sure.
would be here for an Angelo Dawkins single run too.
I think that you can have single runs for both of them, and you don't have to turn either one. I think it could just be like an amicable, brand split decision, a la the Dudleys back in the day, where you just split them up.
The beginning of the New Day, how they
Yeah.
kind of split with the draft that way.
Yep. I
That
have
was
it
such
in
a
my notes as
heartbreaking
well.
moment.
I
It
think
was.
Montez Ford is incredible.
Yeah, he's phenomenal, man. He can jump out of the gym. He's great. And then I don't know, Fraxium doesn't do really anything for me.
This
Andrade
guy
and
doesn't
Ray-
know ball.
They're so fun. I don't know what they are on the main roster, but they're so fun to watch.
I don't.
They're Paul London and Brian Kendrick from the mid 2000s.
Yeah, exactly. So it is what it is. But all right. So what do you guys want to give this rating?
I give it 3 stars.
I gave it a 5-star car crash. Loved it. Loved the whole thing. I'm a little upset at the finish, like the actual decision, but I love the match.
All right. Calm down there, Austin. I also gave it a 3. So we'll split that and call it a 4. Wow.
Okay.
I'm just messing
God
with you.
forbid I like car crashes.
No, it's okay. Speaking of car crash, the no disqualification, no count out, last chance match for the women's intercontinental
Holy stipulation,
championship.
Batman.
Yeah, Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyrie, who every time comes out, I'm just like, what are we doing with these birds? So, and then she like just sheds everywhere every single time. But it's really hard to have another stipulation match with a no DQ right after you watch a bunch of guys go through tables and ladders and stuff. Like it felt like just a lot, right? And it also wasn't a great match, in my opinion. Austin, what do you think?
I thought it was fine. They also kind of had this weird nervousness about them as well, which I thought was super weird just because they do have good chemistry. Like I've seen their matches before and it didn't have this kind of like anxiety about them. It definitely didn't help when in the middle of the match in a pretty big spot that they definitely choreographed where she's zip tied. The zip tie falls off and
Yeah,
she has to
can't
put
do that.
herself back into the zip ties. Like,
Can't do that.
Honestly, shout out to her for making it at least look somewhat passable. Like, that was as good as it could have been handled, honestly.
Yeah, and then I guess did she get it back and then she went under the ring and then came out and she couldn't do it on the extinguisher or something.
Yeah.
So someone was just under the ring with scissors. All right, cool, whatever. But I thought this kind of fell on its face. It was a lot of nothing. Personally, I thought just some of the spots were just okay. Like the wrench spots, I'm okay, but it's a big ass wrench. Like, shouldn't that hurt a lot more? So that, that was just me kind of thinking rationally, I guess. But now the stipulation was Valkyrie can't compete for the IC title anymore.
As long as Becky is holding it, Michael said.
Oh, okay.
So
Gotta have that stipulation because I don't think they said that prior to the match.
So
Did they?
Michael Cole did. I heard him say it a few times, but I think the first time I heard him say it was in intros.
Like at SummerSlam. Yeah. I'm like, all right, Cody Rhodes, calm down.
I really wanted to like this match. Like, I really wanted this to be the 5-star match because I think the spots outside of the zip tie spot were worthy of a very high rating. I can't do it because of some of the sloppiness of the spots, and I just vehemently disagree with the winner of this match. I don't think it makes a whole Becky Lynch, and I'm not a believer in the whole Becky Hogan thing. I think it's overstated but she doesn't need the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, I agree.
Lyra Valkyria, I think, needs the Intercontinental Championship. The Bird Lady thing is starting to get over. The wooing in the crowd is starting to get over. Like you said earlier, AJ, it's easy. It's fun to do.
It's easy.
And so, and she is, I think in 3 to 5 years, your point about Io Sky earlier, Austin, I think you'll be able to say that about Lyra Valkyria in 3 to 5 years. She'll be a top 5 wrestler on the planet. I'm that much of a believer in her in-ring ability. But it just felt like there was something missing.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that I don't even have a problem with Becky winning necessarily. I think that there are more stories to tell. Obviously, they kind of pivoted between her going up against Nikki Bella now. But I think that if you were going to have the interference with Bayley, it needed to be more definitive of her aligning herself with Becky instead of, oops, I accidentally hit my friend and the other person won. Oopsie doopsie. Like, those kind of decisions are maddening to watch because the seeds have been planted that Bayley wants to turn, that she doesn't like Lyra. So why would you soft pedal this in the middle of a top 3 show of your calendar year and go, yeah, who knows? She's a tweener. Just be definitive. Make a decision, Paul.
I will say Bayley looked fantastic, though. I was a big fan of her Thriller outfit that she had on. So that was just my 2 cents. So, again, this was also one of those that lasted longer than it probably should have. 25 minutes, 5 seconds. It dragged for whatever reason. In a no DQ match, kind of like the first 2, in and out 15.
Could have been 5
gotta
minutes.
Get in and out 15.
5 minutes at least less.
So I gave this a 2. We all got.
I got a 3.
I gave it a 2.5, just right in the middle of the road.
Easy average there.
What'd you say, James?
I said 3.
Okay, cool. Works for me. Boom. All right. So now we got Oos versus Oos and a steel Oos. So we have Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu in a steel cage match. So once again, we have another stipulation in SummerSlam Night 2. So we're going on 4 in a row. 4 straight things of something's going on in the ring. Again, you can have one of these matches night 1 or 2 of them. Like, it got a lot at this point. This was fine. Like, just 2 big dudes going at it. It felt like an old like WCW like 90s era giant steel cage match. Like, that's kind of like the vibe that I got. Was it great? No, I went to the bathroom and made myself some food, to be honest with you. So, Austin, what'd you think?
I thought that it was better than mid. I'll spoil it. I have it as a 3 for that. Not necessarily for the in-ring work, even though I think that they're both really good. But, and maybe I'm in the minority of this opinion, I think that Solo Sikoa is so fucking good at what he does. He's okay in the ring. He's certainly no Jacob Fatu, but his facial expressions, his ability to tell stories through his grimaces, through his laughs, through his pain, like it's so good. You can be the flippiest guy in the world. I don't want to disparage him because I like him a lot and he's a Kentucky kid. You could be a Ricochet, but if you don't have that character work about you, you're not going to make it very far in this business. And Solo has it in spades.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it reminds me a bit of an Adam Cole because he's like the facial expressions make the moment.
His facial expression for that ladder match for the inaugural NXT and North American Championship when he realizes that he's on the precipice of being the first. Oh my God, it's so good.
Oh, my favorite,
Adam is incredible.
My favorite is when Kevin Owens came out at War Games. I think it was 2019, 20-something. I think it was 2019. Kevin Owens came out at War Games. He was just like, I can't even do it because I don't have that ability.
You're not James Cole.
No.
No, but I thought it was fun. Like, I mean, there was a bunch of interference. You knew Oos and other Ooses are going to Oos up together. So Jimmy came back. That was fun. So, at the end of the day, Solo Sikoa walks out of the cage and wins by, I guess, what do they call that? Escape?
Yeah. Just pissed.
Side tangent? Dumb. If you have a steel cage, go over the top like an adult. Don't tell the referee, I'm ready now. Let me out. So dumb.
Dude, I remember the days when the only way you could win is to escape. Like, that's how I grew up in WCW.
WWF Warzone in 64.
Yeah, man.
That's when we were a proper country.
That's when you like continued someone's character because you got that blockbuster. So, but yeah, man, that was, I'll give it a 3 too. It was good.
Yeah,
it was good to see
I'll give it a 3. I think Jacob Fatu is falling into that Gunther category a little bit in the sense that, like, he's on SmackDown. Cody Rhodes, spoiler alert, is the new champion there. So you don't want to have Jacob Fatu be the first feud with Cody Rhodes because you know he's going to lose that. You want him to have ostensibly a chance to win the title, but that's not going to happen on SmackDown anytime soon. And he's not winning a mid-card title, so where does he go? Because that's the kind of guy that has main event potential.
It was fun, dude. His backflip ring corner thing that he does, where he does the second rope and then comes back into the third. Dude, that is such a dope move.
Best moonsault ever. Shout out to Christopher Daniels.
It is awesome.
And
I love it. And he's so big when it's like Vader, watching Vader do stuff.
He's a marketable dude too. Like, I don't know if y'all saw any of the Breakfast Club clips that he had in the interview that he had with Charlemagne and them, but it was really funny. It was really, and he's got 7 kids, so there's going to be so many more Samoans.
Oh man, ooses for days.
He's got 7 kids and he's 35. Charlemagne the God was like, "Oh, so you lost plenty of matches to condoms."
This Bloodline song is not going to end until 2075.
Dude, it's never. You think it's going to end? It's not going to end until
no, because those ooses are going to have more ooses, and those ooses are going to have more ooses. It's just going to be generations of ooses.
And then, like, Cody Rhodes' daughter is going to hook up with an oos, and it's going to be just this unbelievable talent. And it's
wrestling is
we're never going to end
not
this.
Nepotism.
Yeah, 100%. The Ulafala is going to be something we're going to be looking back on and going, remember when Roman Reigns came out with that thing? All right, so this next match was actually one of my favorites. I love both these guys, Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles, for the IC championship. I think Dominic Mysterio is white hot right now, and he can do no wrong almost. Like, it doesn't matter what he does. It's always entertaining. He's such a good heel. He's just a sleazeball of a guy. That dirty stash is gross. And it just makes him look even better with his mullet. So I thoroughly enjoyed this match. I love these fun little, Eddie throwbacks. So, James, what'd you think?
Well, it even got a pop out of my wife when they did the chair spot, the Eddie chair spot, because she hadn't seen anything like that before. So she just happened to like look up and see that, and that got a pop out of her. So I enjoyed that, and it was just a well done match. And if someone would have told you what you just said, AJ, 5 years ago, would you have even believed it?
Jesus, no.
It's just
I'd be so mad AJ Styles lost.
It's just a credit to Dominic Mysterio and the work he's put in to be one of the best heels in the world right now, to the point where he's barely a heel. And
he's in Mexico and they're like cheering him on.
Yeah.
Like it's insane. Austin, what'd you think about this?
My brother, shout out to Dylan, has this theory that I've just termed the CET, the cooler entrance theory. And he believes that whoever has the cooler entrance wins. And he's shooting at like a 70% clip. This, unfortunately, falls in the 30%. Coming out in the lowrider, super sick.
Yeah.
I love the idea of having this tribute style of a match, especially on the 20-year anniversary of the Dominic's custody on a pole match for them at SummerSlam 2005. I loved all the homages. I thought it was great. I did enjoy the match. I do wish that it had a little bit more of a chance to make its own history, if that makes sense. Like, I love a good callback. I'm a sucker for a parallel and a callback. Love it all. But I would have loved for Dominic to have like a defining moment of his own in this match.
And maybe we'll get that, because it does seem like this feud is going to continue.
Yeah, for sure.
Unless AJ Styles goes to AEW. Will Ospreay's calling his name.
Didn't he just extend for another year, I thought?
AJ Styles. Sorry.
I don't know if he extended.
Yeah,
I can't confirm that or
Will
not.
Will Ospreay is such an awesome in the ring wrestler, but he's such a fucking dweeb.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So, I think this was a fun match. I think the crowd was really into this match. I don't think right now, like, the lights are going off at all for Dominic Mysterio. And your lights also cannot go off too with Solar Scouts.
It took all the power I had to not just X out of my screen and stand up.
And speaking of power, you'll never have to worry about your power needs again if you go to the solarscouts.com/bums.
Bums. Give Nick a call. He could be able to talk to you about clean energy and how to keep your lights on. And, this power grid's kind of weird and a little funky. And you can also start making some money on your solar panels as well. So once again, solarscouts.com.
I have no puns, but Austin's not in Texas. He probably doesn't have to live with the daily fear of it being 100 degrees and losing power just because of it. So yeah.
Yep.
Solarscouts.com/bums.
Yep. Shout out to Nick, and hope you guys like my transition. I've been trying to think of one. All right. So
I loved it, but at the same time, I wanted to jump off a high building.
Dominic Mysterio retains the IC championship. That was a quick match, 10 minutes, 45 seconds. Looks like AJ Styles, like you said, James, is going to come back. So, and probably compete for it. But, I think Dominic Mysterio, you give him a chance to get some easy wins and maybe drops the IC and then ends up being like the captain of Survivor Series or something. I think this is fun. We'll see what
He's got
happens.
to win that AAA title first. Got to see double champ Dom.
Survivor Series, coincidentally, in San Diego.
There you go.
I've been looking to see if I can get discounts because it's at Petco Park. Nothing so far, y'all.
Yeah,
I'll let you know.
Yeah, keep us updated on that. All right, so now we have your main event, the main event of night 2. So this is like super main event, but you could argue that all these matches are main events. So this was super fun too. I love John Cena, but also I'm so confused of what happened on Friday whenever he came out and I guess turned face. All right, cool, whatever. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. Austin, give us your thoughts.
I think going back to the turn, that was more or less Hunter using John as a mouthpiece, because I feel like this heel run for him has been pretty lackluster, but it could have been great if Dwayne decided that he wanted to show up to work and finish the story that he started. If Travis Scott didn't have a falling out with everybody backstage, I feel like it could have had legs. But now that we're 4 months away from John Cena never wrestling again, it made sense why the turn had to happen. And if Paul wanted to get a couple shots off at Dwayne and Travis, I feel like he was perfectly within his right, because they did kind of hijack the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think John Cena, as to no one's surprise, cut the promo extremely well and made it believable when we were all just kind of like, really? We were all waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah.
I will say I wasn't entirely convinced until he came out
And
for this match and acknowledged Stu. It's like, you're talking to Stu? Yep, you're babyface again. I'm sold.
Yep.
For me, it was the
And then he ran to the
Titantron change.
ring, and you're like, all right, here we go.
Did y'all see Russell Wilson inconspicuously there right before that match?
What?
Yeah, like they
No, I didn't see Russ.
They completely showed Russell Wilson on camera and just did not acknowledge him.
They
Yeah, the Wilfred
acknowledged
L treatment.
Literally, they acknowledged every damn celebrity that showed up, and that was a theme throughout the entire night. And I guess if you just have stuff with Netflix, they're just going to give you seats. Call it the net suites. Wait, no, that's the computer program. Never mind. You'll figure it out. But
NetSuite
it's-
by Oracle.
We'll fix it in post. We'll fix it in post.
Yeah. So, you know, the match itself was fine. It was long as shit, like 37 minutes, 45 seconds. It was a street fight, so that was fun. John Cena has this love obsession with steel steps, man. Like every no DQ street fight match, steel steps are in the ring like within 2 minutes, and that's exactly what happened in this match. So
That's his Sabu chair spot.
Hey, yeah.
He just
Yeah.
loves it.
Get you a thing and stick with it. John Cena's famous for that, right?
The 5
Yep.
moves of doom and the stair spot.
I'm just surprised no one bled in this match, right? I can't remember.
Not that I can remember, no.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I was thinking someone like in this match more than the Punk Gunther match. I thought someone was gonna bleed in this one personally. You know, just because it's Cody and it's John Cena, and I've seen them both bleed, and like every time they do, you tell a great story with it. But I guess it was face or whatever they want to call it, so maybe not.
AJ, you just reminded me. How did none of the three of us mention Gunther's blade job at all?
Oh yeah,
He was just in,
No.
like, he was under that table just butchering his face. Just,
dude. Yeah, that was a weird spot.
yeah.
Maybe we don't have to go back.
We
to
don't
that
have
one,
to go
but-
back, but I just thought that was, I just thought that
Also,
should be
like,
brought
it's-
up.
Also, it's kind of silly how it happened. Like, what, you landed on the corner of a monitor? Like, oh man, what was his final destination? Like, what a coincidence. So, but anyway, back to Cody, John Cena. I thought this was a classic, just John Cena street fight.
Yeah. No, I thought this did a good job of giving the people what they wanted and advancing the story in a way that made sense with what we saw on Friday night.
Yeah. So-
Especially since, like I said before, Dwayne kind of derailed this whole thing. It only makes sense that John Cena ends his run as a professional wrestler, as a babyface. It could have been cool. We could have gotten something way better than Dr. Thugonomics. It just didn't fall that way. So him making the switch here made sense on my end. What didn't make sense was having Cody also turn. I feel like that was the perfect opportunity for him to go, no, you've been an asshole to me for 4 months, and I'm going to beat the shit out of you and take that title back. But he just never fully committed.
Yeah, it would have been good to turn him as well. Just because I don't know, it was weird to see two faces in a street fight. Like,
It was a great match, though. It was
fun.
I think the quality of the match overcame any of the kind of wonky dynamics of good guy versus good guy. Yeah, I think John Cena is showing us that, you know, how to do that properly. Like, he did not have any of that kind of visual slowdown that CM Punk had. It wasn't like, oh my God.
Yeah, no, he looks fantastic, and Cody is a great worker too. I wanted this to be higher on my star rating, but I had to like deduct half a point because there was 14 finishers in this match. And whenever Cody Rhodes hit that last finisher, 1, 2, 3 crickets. I mean, it was not a huge spot, like 1, 2, 3, yay, Cody won, but like there were so many bigger spots before that that it just kind of fell flat. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I gave it a 4-star. I thought it was really fun and just really good and served its purpose well.
I feel like the WWE has a similar problem to what Dragon Ball Z had, and it's the power scaling. I know that you guys said that you haven't watched like proper anime before. But I'm sure you've seen Dragon Ball.
Of course.
The power scaling there was you had an opponent, I think it was Raditz, who had a power level of 200. Okay, well, 200 is not a big deal anymore when you find someone that has 9,000. And 9,000 is not a big deal anymore when you find someone that has 100,000 power level. It's the same thing with the wrestlers. We've seen Cody kick out of 3 spears, so you can't hit him with 1 AA. We've seen Super Cena defy the odds and have 100 finishers hit on him. And it's like, if there was a reset moment for them, if not that I want this person back, and we'll probably get to that, but if there was a Brock Lesnar-esque type of wrestler to come in and beat the shit out of John Cena and hit one finisher and go, oh, one does it for John Cena, you could reset that power level, but they're just not doing it. So
Yeah.
while I think finishers should finish matches, that's why they're called finishers. I think it made sense because they have refused to power scale things down.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just for me. You got to protect your finisher, and I know that they were going to hit it a few times, but like, what was the count? Like, was it 10 crossroads and 4 AAs or some crazy number like that? So that is just a lot, man. And there are through tables, and you did it back to back to back, and that's why I gave it a 3.5. But Austin, what'd you give it?
I gave it a 4. Similar to the CM Punk thing, I had so many people on my timeline calling this a 5-star match. It was like, guys, these two don't have it in them to do a 5-star match unless there's external reasons going on. Like, I know for a fact that in my books, Cody has 2 5-star matches. One is against his brother Dustin at
great match,
Double or Nothing 2019. I forget which pay-per-view that was, but that was a great match. And the other one was his match versus Seth in Hell in a Cell when he tore his pec. Those are 2 very external matches or external reasons rather, that didn't have anything to do with the in-ring work. And that was not a 5-star. I was so angry talking with people online.
Before we move on to the last part of SummerSlam, what did we give Dominic and AJ Styles?
I gave it 3.5.
I gave it a 3.5. Hey, great minds.
Cool. All right, dope. So Cody Rhodes gets his championship. John Cena raises his hand and gives him that little nudge that all these greats have done in the past to up and coming superstars. Cody goes, "Thank you, good night." John Cena's in the ring, just kind of soaking it all in. One last SummerSlam before he hangs it up, and then all of a sudden you hear doodly 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 doodly.
No, I think that's what he was accused of in the lawsuit.
He was accused of that 100%. And Brock Lesnar comes out. Whoa. I saw someone tweet it like, hey, Brock Lesnar's on the active roster. And I was like, no way. And when he came out, I was like, oh boy, we'll see what happens here. No Paul Heyman Brock Lesnar is not my favorite Brock Lesnar. And I don't even like Brock Lesnar anymore for all the things that he is being accused of. So Austin, James,
I hate it.
Do you have any thoughts on this?
I hate it. No heel, no Paul Heyman Brock Lesnar sucks just from a creative standpoint. And now we know Brock Lesnar sucks from a personal standpoint. Like, who? Scratch that. I know who wanted this.
Yeah.
So I won't say who wanted this, but why?
I think I have a more unique perspective on it only because the first game that I ever played, the first wrestling game I ever played was SmackDown Shut Your Mouth. And the next big thing, Brock Lesnar, was a huge proponent of that. So I've like grown up watching that version of Brock Lesnar, and he ended up being on my Mount Rushmore. He was immediately yanked off of it when all this news came out, obviously, because I'm not a piece of shit human. But I just don't understand. I don't feel, and I feel like we're all pretty of like minds about a lot of things. I don't feel like it's hard to have the right opinions. You can disagree of how to get there, but I think having the right opinion is pretty easy. At best, the best case scenario for Brock was that he is complicit in sex trafficking.
Yeah, that was a lot.
That's not someone you want to bring back just for a pop, who wasn't even on Raw last night, by the way. Like you didn't even have immediate follow-up after that. It's insane that this company has decided to double down on bad decisions like that.
When he comes out, I think he's going to get booed out of the building. I will say, whenever he came out, I was like, interesting choice. I guess we're just going to go whoop-de-doo, walk away, call it, and all that stuff. But also, like, at the end of the day, it's like wrestling fans are so progressive compared to UFC. What's going on. Yeah, it's not UFC. And they're very progressive compared to what's going on in the front office of WWE. So, just one of those weird moments. I guess he's going to feud with John Cena, and John Cena is going to talk circles around him, and John Cena will probably lose in like 3 minutes at X pay-per-view. So,
Brock isn't Hogan, and Hogan got booed out of the building. So,
yeah. So we'll see what happens there. I think it's dumb, but guys, I'm not going to count that. We're not going to put that in the star rating because it would be very useless. But I do have the tally of our star ratings for SummerSlam 2025.
Let's have it.
And it is 2.9 stars. So we thought it was a slightly above average. It's kind of like my college career. Like, I passed and I have a diploma, but it wasn't good.
Can't take that away from me, bitch.
Marketing major from a party school.
So, guys, I guess before we get going, like, if you guys want to do a quick who you can put through a table, James, why don't you go first?
Oh, God, I wasn't ready for putting people through tables. I'm going to put Triple H through a table because the whole We Want Cross thing, being redirected into We Want Brock, and the whole showing up at the Trump press conference thing, just all of it, just his whole last week deserves to be put through a table.
Austin.
I'm going to put anybody online who is still defending these stupid motherfuckers after everything that has come out in the wash through a table. I don't want to be associated with you. I think you're the scum of the earth. Get the fuck out of here.
That's why I can't get
into
fair. UFC.
Yeah, mine's kind of like not that. Actually, mine's basketball related. But I'm going to put through the people who are saying Darren Fox is getting paid more money than Luka. Like, dude, you don't know shit. You don't know shit. You don't know shit. And I want to put those people through a table. So they suck. And you know what, guys? I know this was kind of a quick wrap because I got a text message from James and he has a wrap and he has a kid. So we need to just continue to wrap this up. And I'm going to just one drop before we go. Thank you both for coming. Appreciate your time. And I don't know, how did we end this last time, Austin? Was it still with the Go Spurs Go?
Damn right we did.
All right. We'll end this one as we always do, and that's with a Go Spurs Go! All right. Hope I did it. Let's go.